If a 10-year-old girl came to you and said, "Can my two dads get married?" what would you say? This was asked of the candidates the other night.
I don't think I'd engage in a conversation with a 10-year-old about marriage and the state. But I would tell anyone.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because I think it's inappropriate. If that's not my child, I would tell anyone, though, and a 10-year-old can listen, that I want to get government out of marriage.
But if it's not your job, then you're saying that people should be free to marry whoever they want.
I want to get government out of marriage.
So then are you supportive of legal gay marriage?
No, because that would keep government in marriage.
No, government gets in marriage when government bans things, not when government allows things.
My approach is different. I want to get government out of it. And if, no matter what your definition of marriage is, I think you ought to want that too. Because intervention of government in marriage or lots of other things doesn't solve any
How is
problems.
how is government getting out of the business of banning gay marriage, government getting into marriage? I mean, this seems like backwards logic to me.
Well, not to me. If government did not issue marriage licenses, then people could enter into whatever.
Oh, so that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
So you think government should get out of the business of licensing marriages?
Yes.
So that would allow anybody who wanted to marry same sex, opposite sex, it wouldn't make a difference.
Enter into whatever voluntary arrangement you want and call it what you want, but government doesn't have to bless it. Because when government does, it picks and chooses.
But aren't there implications for tax purposes to be married? You know, if you're married versus single, doesn't that have an impact on the tax?
Let's get rid of those. Any advantages based on your marital status. Income tax, I know that's there. I don't know that there are any in the state.
So if you came in as governor, right now there is on the books a prohibition against same-sex marriage. So as governor, your position with regard to that prohibition and the attempts to undo the prohibition would be what?
I don't think we're ever going to get that constitutional amendment reversed. But if you
it's going through the courts right now. The courts are actually seeming to be open to the idea of getting rid of the prohibition.
I want to get government out of marriage, and I think that's a better option. That's what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. And if you stop issuing marriage licenses, instead you could have a registry with a county clerk. Like who we register our deeds and wills and things like that.
Right.
You could register your agreement. I don't know what you would call it. I don't think that matters so much. But your domestic partnership.
Yeah.
You just put it on the registry. That way it's there accessible 24 hours a day. Someone goes to the hospital needs to know who can make decisions for this person. You can look it up.
So what about abortion? Abortion was the next question asked of the candidates. Do you similarly believe that government should get out of the business of determining whether and when someone should get an abortion?
I'm pro-life, and I think that is a violation of the child's.
But you're an advocate.
That is a proper function of government.
But you're an advocate for liberty.
Yes.
Is it inconsistent to be on the one hand an advocate for liberty, but say we're only going to allow liberty up to the point that a woman wants to determine whether she can terminate a pregnancy?
No, it's not inconsistent.
Explain, please.
Because that's a human life. If you believe that's a human life, then aggressing against them is an act of violence. And that is one thing that government is instituted for, to address acts of violence by one individual against another.
So you supported HB 2 during the last
Yes,
legislative session. Would you, as governor, want to see the legislature put further restrictions on abortion beyond what was put in last time?
No.
You think 20 weeks is an adequate time frame?
I'm good with that.
Are you okay with the ambulatory surgical center's requirement of clinics?
I am.
And the admitting privileges requirement?
I am.
But beyond that, you think we can just leave the issue alone?
It's not a top priority. I wouldn't prioritize.
It is not a top priority. Okay, very well.